Another episode of the Christian Women in Business podcast. It is so wonderful to have you here. We are in May already. I cannot believe it. And we have got so much coming up in May. It is crazy. So if you haven't already heard, we are releasing a new coffee and catch-ups location in Brisbane, which is super exciting. We have had so many people register already. So here's order of events for May 8th. We've got our coffee and catch-ups on the Sunshine Coast, 7 a.m. in Mumbai. We've then the week after, the 15th of May, we've got our first coffee and catch-ups in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. This is going to be brunch, and all the information's on our events page. So if you head over to the website, christianwomeninbusiness.co/events, you'll see all of these events that I'm spieling off to you really quickly right now. And then on the 22nd of May, we've got our quarterly Thrive Business Reset, which is online, so no matter where you are in the world, you can come and join us. And it's basically a day to spend on your business, and this time we are introducing peer-to-peer mentoring, which is super exciting. You guys have asked for it, we've listened, so we've introduced that, and I'm going to be facilitating it, and I'm so excited to see what women share, what topics come up. We'll go into our facilitated God time, and then we'll move into our goal setting. So you have so many options to get involved in CWIB, to help you in your business, to feel encouraged, to build your community in the month of May. Everything is on the events page of our website, and I'm so excited that we are finally meeting in person and all the things are happening. It's fantastic. Now, today we are joined by a beautiful lady who's all the way over from the big pond. Her mission in her business is to empower women to do what they were put on the planet to do. And her favorite thing to do on the weekend is to play with her grandbabies. Welcome to the podcast, Mandy Marie, from Coach Mandy Marie.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. It's so exciting to be here with you.
Now, where are you joining us from in the US?
From the Dallas, Texas area.
Oh, that's so fun. I was in Dallas, Texas last year.
Ah,
Mandy Marie messaged us online. I saw her, what she offered, and thought this is really interesting, and I'd love to get her on the show to share her genius. So I would love for you to kind of take over and share with us your story, how you got to where you are today, how God's kind of pulled you in to the direction that you're going, and how did you get to today?
yes, quite the journey. Like anybody that lives, any human being, like it's a journey to really get to where we really want to be and where we feel that rumble. We feel that God is calling us to something greater. It really started for me in the year 2000 when I was diagnosed with depression. And I spent the next 10 years just surviving. And thank heavens the medications really helped me to just be level. And but they really numbed me a lot. And so sometime in the beginning of 2010, I remember I was outside one day and I just had this thought pop into my mind. And the thought was, what if I don't have to have depression for the rest of my life? And I was like, kind of taken aback because I had really believed that, depression is just something that I would just have to deal with forever. And thank heavens there was medication. And even though I felt numb from the medication, it was way better than what I was feeling without it. So that is just what I believed for 10 years. And then when this thought popped in, which I really believe it was from God, I started to think a little bit differently, like, well, what if? And so my mind just started to open, and I went to my doctor and I just said, what if there's an answer here? Like, can we like just explore this? And he was on board. And so I worked with him, and then I was about a year later, I found somebody that really had a lot of good things about mindset and tools to like express your emotions and understand the messages in your feelings and in your thoughts and all of that. And that just really opened up this whole new world that I had no idea was even out there. And one thing led to another. And about 2 years after that, I just started to wonder, well, it was the depression gone because I was feeling so much better and I wasn't needing the medication anymore. And God just whispered one morning and said, "You use the tools that you have been given, and you'll never have depression again. You won't have to deal with it." And I was really curious about that and thought, that's really interesting. And Yahoo, because I no longer felt numb, I could actually feel God in my life more. And it's funny because my husband tells me now, he's like, when you told me that, I was like, yeah, okay, we'll just see. And it didn't take much longer after that when things like stayed changed that he was like, okay, yeah, you really don't have the depression anymore. Well, that led into me starting to feel this rumble from God that just said, there are people out there that need to hear what you have to share and what you have learned. And I totally resisted. I was like, not me. Like, talk about imposter syndrome. Oh, yeah, I was big time like, not me. There's no way. I don't know how to coach someone or talk about this in a way that actually could help somebody. Like, I can share my experience, but to actually coach somebody through this, like, no way. So I resisted, but thank heavens God is very patient. And I would just get these little like, well, just look at starting a website or just kind of investigate this. And so I would investigate things just a little bit at a time. And then I would start to talk to more people about it. And that just led into having a coaching practice and doing several different certifications and learning the skills about mastering the mind. And that just led into figuring out how to help people uncover the subconscious programming that sabotages them, and then how to literally rewire the programming into something that is actually helpful and true to what you feel called by God to do. And so that resetting the nervous system with that, and what that involves is, it's amazing because it literally transforms a person to really do what they feel called by God to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you hadn't have gone through your own transformation yourself from the depression,
Mm-hmm.
even though I know everyone or most people kind of go through a little bit of imposter syndrome of, oh, have
Mm-hmm.
I really got what it takes? And all, you
Yep.
procrastinate. Should I really do
Yep.
this?
Yep.
But if you hadn't have gone through what you went through, like I don't think you would have had the understanding that you can bring to your clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Mm-hmm.
back of, okay, yeah, I understand depression, I understand, when you wake up, what you're feeling, what you're
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
and that real like heaviness that comes over, to then be able to
Right.
transform and help people through that's
Right.
really special.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes me think of a really important point is that if I had not experienced depression for 10 years and then another 2 years was I was figuring it out, if I had not experienced that, it would be really easy for me to say, well, just change your thinking, just change your thoughts. Like, get out of this hole. Like, come on, you can do it. And while changing our thinking and our thoughts is super critical and important, what I bring to the table is to help women understand the sabotage, the subconscious sabotage that is behind changing the thoughts and then rewiring the brain with the thoughts that actually are true about themselves, about their relationship with God, and about what their purpose is on the planet. So I have seen over all of these years that I have been a coach the beautiful um, connection there is to really understanding what my sabotage is versus just thinking, okay, I'm going to go out to Google and I'm going to find the top 10 things that sabotage everybody, and I'm going to rewire my brain with that. No, I need to know specifically what my personal sabotage is. That's how I'm going to change it and rewire my nervous system and my brain.
Yeah, and like learning your own triggers as well, right?
Yep,
Like
yep,
triggers are different for
mm-hmm,
everyone. They're going to bring up different experiences
yeah,
because we've all
yeah,
been through different
yep,
experiences. And, I can think of an example just like really recently for myself where this has come up where I had a massive Mac desktop that I did all my work off. Like I run the automation girl on the side and I need
yeah,
a big screen. Like I need to do a lot of things on the screen. Like there's lots of things open. We're juggling. Like it's just how the work is. And the other day it decided it had been with me since before we founded CWIB. It's been to conferences, like it's recorded so many podcasts. It's got a lot like of history. And it decided that, it's coming to its end of its life. And
Oh
I
no.
just went through a whole grieving process of I didn't realize how much I had attachment to this computer, this mat, like this physical thing. And I was thinking about it. There's the emotional attachment of, we did
Mm,
conferences with it, we've done so much with it. But then
yeah.
how much time do you actually spend with your computer in a day when you're working? Like, you
Yeah,
probably spend more time with your computer
that's
than you do
so
your
true.
family. Like,
Yeah,
talk
that's a
about
sad
like
scenario.
be like business bestie. It is literally the tool that you use every day. And so what I'm kind of getting to is it brought up a lot of triggers and very
Mm,
unexpected triggers. So as I was thinking through all the different things we'd done with it, it also brought up different timelines within my own past of different things that had happened
hmm
along the way. And I kind
hmm
of had to pull myself up because I could have gone down a really like interesting
Yep,
rabbit hole of what
yep,
that trigger had
yep.
brought up. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, well, even though the computers died, like Christian Women in Business is still alive, you still have all those memories in your heart. Like, it's just because
Uh,
this computer's died doesn't mean that everything else has died with it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just the process of the trigger. So you just
yeah.
never know what, and
That's so
even in
true.
business, like what triggers are going to come up for you and how you're going to
hmm
process them, and then what other things are going to come up when you
hmm
start processing them. Now, I think, like, I hopefully, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I do think it's really important that we do acknowledge what emotions are coming up
Yep.
and we
hmm
do allow them to come out of our bodies. I think God's given us
Yep.
emotions to express, whether they're
Absolutely.
positive or they hurt.
Yep.
They can both be used for positive, and it's really important that we express and allow
Yeah.
that. And where are we feeling it in our body, and
Nope.
I'm learning to
We
put
froze.
words to the feelings, right? So I'm feeling hurt, I'm
Yes.
feeling pain, I'm feeling grief. Like, I'm
Yes.
at the bright age of 37 finally managing to put words to my emotions. The
Well, the
basics of
social
life.
programming says no. It says, stop crying or I'm going to send you to your room. Those kinds of messages. It hasn't been okay to have emotions, let alone express them. So yeah, that is a very big piece of my coaching is to give people permission and then the skills to actually express their emotions and their feelings. And there's always a message. There's a deeper message, just like you said with your computer, right? Like feeling frustrated, like, oh no, and then realizing, oh, I'm actually grieving because I think that maybe this is going to impact my business negatively. And realizing, oh no, the business is still here. And I've still got all these great women, right? Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful awareness. And it's so liberating to be able to know how to have that awareness and what to do with it.
Yeah. And I think as women in business, generalizing, like because we run our businesses, we think we always have to have it together and we always have to put
Right.
on a brave face. And, I've got
Right.
everything together. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, business is great. And underneath, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, life is so hard. I'm struggling.
hmm
Things aren't going great. And like that's one of the things at CDYB that we really try to create is a really safe space to have those conversations
hmm
because they
hmm
need to be had. Like business is
Yep.
hard. It's
hmm
beautiful, but it can have such hard seasons and really
Yes.
difficult things can happen along the way that you need a bunch of girlfriends that you can go,
Yep.
this has happened. I'm not sure about what to do next. I need you to pray with
hmm
me. Like, I'm putting on a
Yeah.
brave face for my team, but this is
Yeah.
what's going off in the background.
Yeah.
And it's just so important to have that. Because, like you
Yeah.
said, we were told to stop crying. We were told to
hmm
put on a brave face, suck it up, like
Yep.
whatever it is that the culture's told us that
Yep.
we're from. But I think,
Right.
well, actually, no, like, let's just sit in this moment, what you're feeling, what lessons are being taught to us through it. And, we don't stay in the misery forever, but
Yeah.
definitely going through it and where we're feeling it and then going, okay, well, what's truth? What's truth to
Yep.
this? And then,
Yeah.
like you said, we're reprogramming what's truth.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what's, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and when we can turn or when we know what to do with our nervous systems, because it's a body and it's a mind thing. And so understanding, first of all, understanding that subconscious programming, I mean, that's deep inside our brains, and we just run our lives, we don't even know it's there. And so when we can understand that, it can help us to rewire through neuroplasticity our brains and our bodies. And then you literally become transformed, like my favorite scripture, one of my favorite scriptures with this work that I do is Romans 12:2. Be ye therefore transformed through the renewing of your mind. So we need to understand, well, what is my mind saying? What is my brain saying? And is it really true? Like, for example, one of the key mind chatter that I just kept having over and over and over and over and over was that nobody wanted to listen to me. And I it was validated to me when in the early years of our marriage somebody would come and visit us, and my husband would be like not really interested in the conversation, and he'd pull out one of his airplane magazines and just start thumbing through it while supposedly listening, right? And we've had this conversation before, he and I, and we cleared it up and whatever, but it's really I really, to understand that, where that came from, and then some other things from when I was a younger person, in my youth, like to understand like that for me, that's a trigger, or it was a trigger, and this is where it came from. And so then when my husband did that, it was just like, well, yeah, see, nobody wants to talk to me. So then that translated many years down the road, right? When I'm feeling this rumble from God, like it's time to start speaking, and I'm like, no, nobody wants to listen to me. And to realize, oh my goodness, look at this. How many decades here am I dealing with this same belief that got stored in my subconscious because I've had different experiences in my life that my brain just decided, yeah, see, nobody wants to talk to you. So it's very liberating in business, as a parent, as a woman, without children, like it doesn't matter what your stage of life is. It's so empowering to understand how to find those subconscious beliefs and really question them, and really then decide, okay, I'm going to retrain my brain, I'm going to rewire my brain, and I'm going to rewire my body so that I show up more authentic to who I really am.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that so much. I'm really hoping as we move on to the next 5 tips, you might be taking us through some of this stuff as we share, because that's what we're going to move on to next. But I really appreciate you sharing, being vulnerable and sharing your own story, and, how, okay, yeah, I'm doing this for women, but like we go through things and this is how
Yeah,
it is for me, and sharing that vulnerability on a podcast is really beautiful. So thank you for doing
you're
that.
welcome. You're welcome.
So next is 5 tips on your craft. So I'd love for you to
Mm-hmm.
share 5 tips for us as we navigate business life, of however it is you want to share it, but I'm secretly hoping it's going to be mine stuff.
It is going to be mind stuff. Yes. So I help with the inner work in a business. If you need somebody to help you with your social media and all the back end business stuff, like I'm not your girl. I am all about the mindset and understanding, not just mindset, like let's think happy thoughts, like I mentioned earlier, but understanding that sabotage. So yes, the 5 steps that I'm going to share with you can help your audience to understand a little bit more about their subconscious programming around something that maybe they don't really know. So the first step is know, K-N-O-W, know. What is it that I really know or I think is in my way to whatever it is. So let's say, since we're talking about business here, what is really in my way to advancing my business to the next level? So we want to know what it is that we want. Okay? So I want to know what's in the way of advancing my business. That's number one. Then I want to be able to see what is in my way. Now, if you can do this with your eyes closed and go through these 5 steps, it's really even more powerful, because the brain will produce what we ask it to produce. And so when I walk through these 5 steps, if you just give the first thought that comes to your mind, even if you're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, first thought is always going to be really, really accurate most of the time. That's kind of a double accurate most of the time. But anyway, okay, so the first thing is we want to know what it is that we want. Then we want to see it. What is the obstacle in the way? And I could just ask you, Sarah, if you want to play along with me to give the audience like some understanding. Do you want to share what it is that you know that you want to do next, or something that you want to have different in your life? Oh, now I can't hear you.
Sorry, I turned off my mic because I'm writing down the
Okay.
points as
Okay.
you're saying them out, and then I turn my mic off so you can hear me tapping to write
Yeah,
them down as you're saying them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm answering you, forgetting that I've turned my mic off. That's so funny.
okay. That's great.
Okay. Oh,
So
I'm
I
gonna need.
can just give examples, or if you
Yeah,
rather
if
not
you
do.
give examples, because I'm in
Yeah.
capturing what you're saying down, that would be
You're doing,
awesome.
yeah, you're
I'm capturing.
concentrating on the other. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. That's great. So I know that I want to get my business to the next level. I want to up level my business. All right. And when I think about the obstacle in the way, I'm going to close my eyes because it will help me to just process this. When I think about the obstacle that is in the way of up leveling my business, what I see is a huge boulder. Now I can go across the boulder, I can go around the boulder, so it's probably about 5 feet by 4 feet, and it's gray and it's very jagged. I can see that boulder that is in my way. So that's number two is see. Number three is say. If that boulder could talk, what does it say? Okay, that boulder is telling me that other people are super successful, but you don't have what it takes to be successful. It's telling me that I am an imposter. And who am I to think that I can actually take my business to the next level? And it's telling me that I don't have time for this. I'm a mom and I need to be focusing on my kids. And so it's selfish to want to up level my business. Okay, now as you have that visual and those words in your mind, so we have know, see, say, now we have feel is number 4. How does it feel to have that obstacle in your life and to have it talking to you and saying those things? Well, to me, it feels defeating, extremely defeating, like I want to give up. It is the epitome of not being motivated. I just feel helpless and hopeless. So we have know, we have see, we have say, we have feel, and now do is number 5. What is it that that obstacle and its messages causes me to do? Well, I might do a little bit of work to elevate my business on Tuesday, but then I'm just going to check out because it's not going to matter anyway that I'm putting in any effort because I don't really have what it takes to up level my business. So I'm just going to be, yeah, kind of nonchalant about it, like just kind of give up. So now that you have that understanding of what's really in your subconscious about up leveling your business, that awareness puts you in a position to actually do something different than listen to the subconscious voices that sometimes you can hear them audibly. Most of the time, they're just doing their work behind the scenes, and you don't even know that it's impacting you. So, once you have that awareness, now comes the beautiful moment when you can think about that obstacle. So, I'm thinking about that rock and I'm thinking about the messages and how I feel. And I get to ask myself, do I want to continue in this way with this obstacle and its messages? Or do I want something different? What do I want to do with that obstacle? Well, I'd like to blow up that obstacle. So I'm going to, in my mind, I'm going to go get some dynamite and I'm going to blow it up. And so I blow it up and I notice that it turns into little pebbles. And I'm noticing that it actually forms a path in front of me. And I'm going to walk on that path and I'm walking forward to what I want to accomplish, which is to up level my business. So that visualization helps your brain, gives your brain evidence that, oh, you can move through an obstacle. You can change a story inside of you. And so then if you visualize that multiple times throughout the day, just like visualize blowing that obstacle up or whatever it is. Sometimes it's cutting a rope. Sometimes it's all sorts of things, blasting it to the sun. It's really empowering because the brain needs a new story. And so this is how you start that new story and that new creation.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, whether you've blown it up, cut it off, sunk it deep into the ocean, spat it
Uh-huh.
out to space, I hope that what Mandy Marie's just shared kind of brings some revelation to you of how you can cope with obstacles. I think that's awesome. So we've got know, see,
Mm-hmm.
say, feel, and do, and
Yes.
then blast the hell out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we have power to destroy the challenges, the obstacles in our way. Like we really do have that power. Like God gave us that power to do that. He wants us to be successful. He wants us to fulfill the purpose for which we were put here. And that I mean, if I was to just say a general purpose, it's to bless each other. It's to help each other. That's what I love about your gatherings and the community of women that you are creating. It's we're not meant to do this alone. I mean, if that was the case, I think God would have put us on our own islands,
Yeah,
but He didn't.
that's right.
He put us all together so we can help each other. And this is how we do it. Is we get out of our own way first, and then it opens up like, oh yeah, I don't need to be alone, and I don't even want to be alone.
Yeah, that's right. And when you found that amazing group of women or the coach or whoever it is that can help you, and you
Mm-hmm.
feel aligned with them, you're like, yeah, okay, like
Yeah.
let's crank this beast up. Like let's put in
Yep.
the work, let's identify the things, let's learn how to put words to feelings, all the
Yeah.
things,
Yep.
that life takes us on. That we can feel like we are being taken back to when we were little and kind of relearning different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fascinated in general with the subconscious anyway. Like,
Mm.
just understanding how the subconscious works, even like how ideas are formed. Like, a lot of people, and I've shared this before on the podcast, is you get your best ideas when you're not actually sat at a computer doing work. You get it when you're out in
Amen.
nature, and you get it when you're in
Amen.
the shower or on the toilet. And that's because
Mm-hmm.
you're giving your mind, your subconscious,
Yeah.
time to process all the things that are going
Mm-hmm.
on. And you're not actually switched on, if you get what I mean by
Yeah.
focusing on
Yeah.
something. And
Right.
then, God drops the truth bombs or the ideas or whatever it is, but
Yep.
it's just because you're switching your mind off and you're allowing your subconscious to process all the things that
Mm-hmm.
have just happened,
Yeah.
or the ideas that you've been thinking when you're out in nature, that you then
Mm-hmm.
can form those ideas, and we're not even purposely doing it. The ideas come, or
Yes. Yes.
whatever it is. It's just so fascinating.
Yeah.
So listeners, you've been given a really good tool there to go away and use and practice, and you can save this podcast and go over it. Obviously, when you're driving, don't close your eyes.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this when you're driving, but set some time aside for yourself and just listen to the words that Mandy Marie shared. And of course, Mandy Marie's got her services available if you did want to take it to the next level. So, my next question to you then is, how do you incorporate God into your business? You've shared a little bit already, but in
Yeah.
the
Yes.
everydays.
Yeah. Well, I learned from him from the Holy Spirit early on to ask a really amazing question. And it is as simple as this: what does so and so, whoever I'm going to meet with, need today?
Yeah.
And it has been amazing. I've been doing this for years, and it is amazing to me how I will get an idea and I'll think, I wonder how that's going to incorporate into today's session. And 9.5 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times, honestly, like it's exactly what that person needs. That is the skill that I need to teach them. That is the truth that I need to help them understand. And so I really like my motto is like, this is God's work. It's not my work. I'm just his hands. And so it's so beautiful because there are so many times when I will really feel like I will know, just watching the other person, I will know that they are connecting so deeply with that and they feel God's love. That's what I want them to feel, is that he loves them in the middle of their chaos. He cares about them, he knows them, he loves them, and he's right there with them.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. What special moments you must share with people, like as that happens? Like it must feel really priceless.
It is. And usually I don't have to say anything because they're feeling it and they recognize it. So it's, do I call it up, like say, hey, did that, God just, because we just both feel it. So we don't need to say anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Now, you did share a Bible verse already, but this might not be
Hmm.
the same verse for you. And so this is
Yeah.
for you personally. What's your Bible verse for this season and why?
Well, Isaiah in chapter 55, my thoughts are not your thoughts. That just, it resonates so much because it reminds me in all the thought work that I do and all of the seeking to find truth in my experiences and in what is going on in my head, to just remember, just because I'm thinking it doesn't make it true. And my thoughts really truly aren't God's thoughts. My thoughts about how to advance my business and elevate it might not be what God sees as the big picture and like is really going to be best to help me. So I want to stay tuned into the bigger picture that he can see, and keep moving my feet forward. I mean, I'm not turning everything over to God and saying, okay, just, sprinkle your magic and like here, we have agency, right, to move our feet. And he expects us to do that. I believe that. So just remembering that my thoughts are not God's thoughts is very helpful to me to stay aligned with, okay, that's right. Now, why am I thinking this?
Yeah.
And question it.
And then go through your own process again.
Yep. Yep. I'm getting lots of practice.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that verse with us today. So, if our listeners do want to take up on coaching with you or they just want to start following you, where's the best place they can find you? This is your opportunity to share your goodness with where people can find you.
Well, thank you. So, the 5 steps that I just took you through, I have outlined that in a power shift guide. So, that would be a great thing that you could download and then you could follow it through and input your own obstacle and everything. That can be reached at coachmandymarie.com/power shift. And then my website is coachmandymarie.com. And I have an Instagram at Coach Mandy Marie. So all of
Awesome.
those are ways to connect with me.
And we'll pop the links to those on the show notes as well. So if you want to come back later, you're driving or whatever, we've captured them for you to go and find later on. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience today as some encouragement before we wrap this up?
Sure. I want women to feel empowered to move through their challenges. I want them to feel empowered to blast their obstacles to the sun. I want them to have skills to be emotionally resilient no matter what their challenge is. because part of being a human is that there are challenges no matter what age you are, no matter where you live, there are challenges. It's part of life, it's the plan. It's to help us become the best versions of ourselves. So we all have challenges. It's not about doing something so we don't have challenges. It's about learning skills to be emotionally resilient during those challenges. And that is very doable. It is very figure outable. And it is so empowering when a woman can step into that, because a woman who can step into that, she has so many people that she's influencing, whether she's a mother or not. She has lots of people to impact. And so I always tell these women that come to me, like, well done, you're going first. Somebody has to go first. And you going first, and the ripple effect is just, you can't even determine how big that ripple effect is going to be, but it's there. And so your ability to be emotionally resilient is absolutely doable.
Oh, that's awesome. Take that, grasp every single word of it, and take that into your day, into your week, into your life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on the show. It's been absolutely wonderful to hear your story and give physical things of what our listeners can do to, start helping transform
Mm.
their minds so that they can
Mm-hmm.
step into whatever that next thing is for them. Like, there's no pressure to have to keep, like, just be building the business. It can be in anything in life. It might
Yep.
be you're thinking about starting a podcast and
Yep.
you've got fears that are coming up. It could be to do an event, whatever it is. You've got tools now that you can put in place literally as thoughts come up to
Mm-hmm.
process what is it that's, if I guess it's always the thing of, if you're ready to get uncomfortable a little bit to, like, go through
Yep.
this, but if
Mm-hmm.
you are, you can use it and step through and go, okay, yeah, I'm ready for the next thing now, whatever that is to you. Remember, success is what is success to you and what God's put on your heart. So still be staying in your own lane, still be keeping the blinkers down and doing your thing, because God's put you on this earth for a reason. He's put you on this earth for now, and whatever it is that he has put on your heart is unique to you, and it's yours to champion with and to move forward on earth. So go get them, go blast those big boulders out the way, whatever it is that came up for you, and really embrace everything in the obedience with what God's given you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. It's been wonderful.
And remember, we've got so much coming up in May. So make sure you hit our events page on the website, get booked in. We'll be starting Melbourne soon as well. So we're slowly adding locations as the time's right. And we just love to help you connect and really grasp that unity that we bring. CWIB. I'm SJ, and we'll catch you next time.